So let's talk about the Elder Scrolls 6. I've been so excited for the Elder Scrolls 6 just like a lot of you. Even if it's been 7 years since the trailer dropped, I'm still very excited for this game. In today's video, we're gonna go over leaks and stuff, but not till the end, and I'll give you a spoiler warning. Let's get started and talk about the first topic, where it'll take place. Based on how the trailer looks, a lot of people concluded that it's taking place in Hammerfell, High Rock, or both. I'd agree with this. Personally, I think it'll 100% take place in part of High Rock and all of Hammerfell, at the very least. I do want to talk about the stuff we'll see because of where the game is based. Obviously, we'll see more Redguard and Breton culture. Bretons are personally my favorite race in the lore. I'm no racist, but you know what I mean. In the trailer for ESO, The Elder Scrolls Online, we see a super cool Breton knight beat up a group of adventurers. Based on the region that each Elder Scrolls game takes place, we get different armor designs. For example, Skyrim's Daedric armor and Oblivion's Daedric armor are very different. I do wonder if, for example, Daedric armor will have two versions, one that's more representative of Redguard culture and one that's more representative of Breton culture. Anyway, let's move on to another interesting topic. Dragons. Dragons are one of the first things I think of when I think of the Elder Scrolls. Although they're introduced pretty late, if you count Martin Septim's transformation, then I guess you could say Oblivion was the first game where dragons were very important to the plot, but I digress. In Skyrim, we saw a whole bunch of dragons get resurrected, and I think the Dragonborn slayed many of them, but probably not all of them. I think that if dragons return in the Elder Scrolls 6, we won't see them randomly pop up on us like they did in Skyrim. I think that almost all of them will be part of quests, special locations, and hard to reach places. Maybe in one quest, you'll summon a dragon using an artifact that basically holds the power of a dragon calling shout. Then you'll fight it and possibly kill it. There's also the possibility that the character in this game will be a Dragonborn. Although the title of Skyrim's protagonist is the last Dragonborn, it's entirely possible that there are more to come. Do I think we'll be Dragonborn though? Probably not. Even if we were in this game, it'd probably be more similar to the type of Dragonborn Alessia was. If we were Dragonborn, we probably wouldn't use shouts, and the only reason for the protagonist to be Dragonborn is the fact that Dragonborns are usually pretty important to fate, and always end up being historical figures. I do think it would actually be really cool if we got to be a Dragonborn, but like I said, it would be so weird if we're shouting again. It's kind of just reused from Skyrim. I think they want to come up with brand new gameplay and want to make it different from Skyrim, want to set the Elder Scrolls 6 above it. So being Dragonborn might be a little cliche for people. Next, let's talk about the world again. This time I'm not talking about where the game will be taking place. A lot of people are concerned on how the world is going to be made or how it will feel. I'm talking about procedural generation. I've never played Starfield, but the people that did said that procedural generation for planets sucked. Personally, I think it's really lazy, and I think we need a much better crafted world that isn't random. Although I have no issue if they use procedural generation in production. I think that as long as they refine the world by themselves and not just completely rely on procedural generation, it'll do more harm than good. It should be used as a tool instead of a replacement. This topic is one of those hot ones, so let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. Shipbuilding. Shipbuilding is a mechanic that has been floating around as a possible feature for this game. In Starfield, there was a whole shipbuilding system, and they could use a very similar system for the Elder Scrolls 6, although obviously the ships would be very different. One's a spaceship, one is going to be on the sea. I have nothing against this feature, and I think it actually opens up a lot. When I was playing Skyrim back in 3rd grade on my PS3, I remember going into the ocean beyond the College of Winterhold and wondering what was out there. I'm not saying that we're actually going to get to leave Tamriel with ships, but I think it'd be pretty cool if there were some islands out there or just some crazy enemies. Imagine instead of fighting dragons, you're fighting a sea monster. I think it'd be a genius idea if we were fighting both enemies like krakens at sea and dragons on land. Maybe we could even see a water dragon. But if we do get to sail the seas, I'd absolutely love to see what it would bring and fight sea monsters. They need to be intimidating and scary though. I need some crazy sea soundtracks, and all of a sudden a shadow appears under your ship. Tentacles wrap around it, you see a giant kraken head pop out of the water. I have a lot to say about the potential sea battles and sea mechanics, so if y'all want me to make a video dedicated purely just to that, let me know. Now let's talk about some things we might see in the main story. I say it'd be pretty cool if the main quest had us go all the way around the map, exploring both land and sea. The final quest could have 3 parts. In part 1, we might fight a dragon with an army or something. In part 2, we sail on the sea and find a magical artifact that'll act as a key to open up some type of fight, I don't know. And in order to get this magical artifact, we'll have to fight some type of sea monster. Finally, part 3 will consist of us fighting a godlike human Daedra character. I want the final conflict to be against a non-beast enemy. Sure, fighting Alduin was really cool, but fighting Dagoth felt more important, even if one fight is definitely way better than the other. Maybe we can fight a Dragonborn at the end of the game. Maybe a man or mer that has mantled a god. Bonus part before we get to spoilers. In Skyrim, we both had vampires and werewolves, but do y'all think they're going to be returning in The Elder Scrolls 6? I think that'd be pretty cool if we got to fight some werewolves out in the wild and vampires too, especially if we got to see special vampires like the Volkir clan. They might even bring back vampire lords. I don't know, I think one of the best parts of Skyrim was the werewolf and vampire powers. I was super obsessed with those as a kid. Warning. In this part of the video, I will be talking about leaks. Now that we've got that out of the way, one of the rumors is that we'll be getting around 12 cities. All of these major cities are at Whiterun level. Now this would be insane. I loved Whiterun and the cities that were actually big. Now there were some cities like Winterhold that had missed potential, but if we're getting this many major cities, we're gonna be chilling. I love cities like Markarth that are super interesting to look at, but what I'm concerned about is we're going to get a whole bunch of quests to fill up each city. If there's going to be so many big cities, we need to have a lot of cool quests. I'd rather have small cities with a lot of content than a big city that feels empty in terms of content. Well, that's the end of the video, but don't leave just yet. If you stayed this long, you probably like my content and should check out more of it. Let me know if I should make more Elder Scrolls content. Be sure to like, sub, and comment your favorite Elder Scrolls character if you made it to the end. All support helps. See ya.